Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for joining me. I am on your screen right now. And while I'm not really concerned, I don't know how I got here. Am I stuck on your screen? I'm in some sort of box right now. In all realness, though, this video is about time and synchronicity. In 3D land, in this dense playground we find ourselves in, it is supposed that the passage of events in our lives abide by this thing called time. We can't change it. It is what it is. These pockets of standardization, hours, minutes, past, future, hoo-ha, they are just set in stone. But time is so outside of the true reason why anything occurs in our lives. It appears that in a physical body that we are bound by this thing called time. But synchronicity is actually always the grand ruler of what goes down, what presents itself, how events collide within ourselves and without. Synchronicity, most of us are familiar with when we're talking about meaningful coincidences. Occurrences that can't really be explained with a mundane attitude. And synchronicity is how all creation always operates. Anything comes into your sphere of consciousness in order to let you know that which has to be let known. But unless we actively understand that synchronicity guides everything and there is no such thing as an event which should have happened or should not have happened, unless we understand that we are simply the receivers of our own energy, then we will always miss the beautiful synchronicity which is right here, right now. There is no aspect of this life which isn't orchestrated, but it's not orchestrated by anything else other than your energy. We always can look at the why. Why did that happen? And guess why? It's always because of you. Anything which collides into you or shakes you up, and everything here shakes us up, does it not? This is quite a shaken experience. Anything that shakes you up is trying to wake you up. So any sort of coincidence in your life isn't just mere coincidence. It's yourself coming to you to say, "Hi, I'm here. I'm an innocent, beautiful being that resides in you. But in order to experience me, in order to get to the realization that I am you, you have to go through lots of tests. You can take the same test over and over again until finally you realize it's not about getting the correct answers. It's just about plowing through the fear, the shadows. It's about seeing what the anger, what the sadness, what the confusion holds. It always holds keys. Always. But if we abide simply by time, then we can easily make excuses. We can easily make excuses for the why of things and dupe ourselves into claiming that erupted in me or outside of me because, well, that event led to that event, that event led to that event, and I'm not fully responsible. It's not really in my control. I'm bound by time. But you know what? There are so many experiences that we all have where time bends. You know, when you're enthralled in a project, when you're really in it, in the present moment, does time bark at you? Does the past want to rear its ugly face? If its face is ugly. No. Its face is always ugly. Dummy. You're not me. You were me. Or so time says. But synchronicity says, this is a fresh new beginning right here, right now. And there are coincidences that aren't so coincidental that can be seen right now. And if they're not obvious, they're obvious within my own energy. This is how Hyperborea operates. Hyperborea is a timeless state. All paradisal lands, as described in mythology and cosmology, are outside of this stupid charade we call time. Time backwards is emit. We ultimately emit time in order to bring us back into synchronicity. So it's a bit paradoxical. We got to get out of the left brain in order to understand. Time is relevant until it's not. Synchronicity is only felt because it's known as a state of acceptance. We accept all that collides in our reality, all that pokes its head and says, hey there, I'm here for a reason. This is not coincidental, and do not try to logically explain me. And when we don't logically explain away that which is really important to see, no matter how minuscule time would have it think it is, then we become like the gods. We do. You think the gods are looking at their watch or looking at the dates and saying, you know, maybe in a week I'll start to be myself, or if only last Tuesday this didn't occur, then I really could have blah 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 blah. Now, of course, we are in a 3D state in many ways, and we must abide by some systems. We must sleep, and that involves time, doesn't it? Yeah, but what I'm talking about is not grasping to any measurement, no matter how much it wishes to solidify itself in 3D reality. Okay, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta sleep. You gotta be at a dentist appointment or something. You gotta get your teeth cleaned because you can't clean them yourself. Okay, go ahead. But to internalize time and give it the trophy of experience, that is self-hatred. Now, when we fully become aware of every energy that is synchronistically placed on our path, we realize, oh, it exponentially speeds up. Oh, there's a breadcrumb. Here we go. And I don't have to grasp to you, because we can only really grasp to experience if we're grasping to time. They said this, and I'm holding on to it because it's not happening now. It happened then, or I'm holding on to a projection or an expectation of what should happen, what is to come. We can do a little dance skirting around the present moment, but the present moment will always laugh at us ultimately and say, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm a present. I'm a present." Stop thinking in terms of time and think in terms of energetic flow, which is synchronicity. That is using the intuition. And don't pick apart the synchronistic layout of everything. Here's a great example, because when I say synchronicity, most people will think of numbers, like seeing repeating numbers or having significant numbers present themselves. When we try to over decipher what's happening instead of letting the numbers reveal itself to us, then we are no better than our alarm clock going off in the morning and screaming and saying, "Hey, hey, boom, 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 bing, 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 get up, it's time to do that." So imagine this. We can observe our lives as if it's a show. I'm now in one scene, and I have to perform as great as I can. But if we just want to rush to the intermission or to the final act, then we'll be missing out on the story which leads to that. And it's a disrespectful attitude if we just want to skirt synchronicity and envelop ourselves in time. Anything which is dry, which is standardized, and which is free of a poetic nature is ultimately to be discarded if we are to rise out of the clutches of time, the clutches of 3D, and into the ever-flowing synchronistic landscape of our energies, which is paradise. All beings in paradise understand that there are no mistakes, that there is no better or worse, that all we must do is allow the creative potential of each moment to wrap us in its magnificence. And thus, we hug it. We embrace it. When we embrace the moment, we embrace all of creation. Isn't that simple? It's too simple. It's too simple. Well, the more simplistic we get, the more truth just is known without needing to find it, because it finds us. You don't find synchronicity. We don't try to connect what is meaningful in our lives. Anytime we attempted, or still attempt, to will connections, bring them together, superglue them with our will, that's when the opposite of what we wish to happen happens. A great example is if we just want to maintain harmony and we push for harmony, pushing away conflict, which could lead to harmony, then we'll create more conflict. This is why we have that phrase. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. But how about letting the synchronistic flow of creation inform you? Inform you what is to be known. In order to do this, it takes a very clear method of interacting, and it takes foregoing measurements of time, measurements of right and wrong, duality, measurements of any kind. How do you live without measurement? That doesn't make any sense. Hermes, I'm at a loss. How do you live without measurement? If one asks this question, then it is demonstrating why. To grasp to measurement creates confusion. How do you live without measurement? How do you think this natural landscape in the Matrix is operating? You think this tree over here is operating in measurement? The bird above me, you think he is measuring things? He's croaking. Maybe he's just croaking to croak. Maybe I'm just speaking to speak. Is there an end point we need to grasp to? It's the infinite spiral of creation we're in. So everything is always a whirlpool of experience. And those who grasp to time, stiff measurements, basically want to hold on to the borders of the whirlpool and say, no, oh no, oh no. But what about the past? What about the future? While those who are enthralled by the spontaneity of the spiral of creation are having so much fun, going, woohoo! I'm going in again. I'm ready for it. Love is letting go. That is what true love is. Letting go. That's what freedom is. It's letting go. Letting go of everything that doesn't serve ascension. Love's the sweetest thing life can ever bring. There's no greater gift. But if too close, if we bring it too close to us, want to chain it to ourselves, that's called clinging. Love rarely glows in the way we have thought in fairy tales. I love you. Love, 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 love. That's a form of love, and I love you, if you are watching this. But love is letting go. It has to do with opening the cage of the bird and allowing it to transform its song into whichever song it shall sing. Here in 3D Matrix Shadow World, all we see is clinging. People angry about governments, about their spouses, because they didn't do what they wanted to. Their marriage didn't end up the way they wanted. Look what this corporation did to my child. Blah, blah, blah. Poo-poo speak, basically, is what clingy speak is. This is why the joke is on those who take anything so seriously, and most of all, time. There's nothing that can't be repaired. And one who has no internalization of synchronicity will always look at the breadcrumbs laid over there, not understanding they converge right here. When am I going to find the truth? When am I finally going to experience this? When you allow yourself to not see the Holy Grail anywhere else but in your own heart. And this is a very poetic kind of statement, isn't it? That's too poetic. But poetry is really the essence of synchronicity. It's quite poetic to realize anything in our lives is but an expression of the innermost potential just wanting to be released and unlocked. And sometimes it can feel destructive. But all we have to know is whatever's happening is perfect. So I can take the heat, I can take the destruction. I'm not backing away or clinging to time and saying, I wish I wasn't here right now, I wish I was over here or here. This is a gift. Hello there. Merge into synchronicity. That's called acceptance. That's called true acceptance. Let us accept it all.